Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions. It's another very beautiful Tuesday morning, and we're back with our predictions. It is Champions League Tuesday, actually, and very exciting matches going on across the globe. And we're going to look at the matches in a short while, right? That's what we do on a daily basis, you know. And also, we have our VIP membership. You can always endeavor to join in the finding the link in the description of the video. VIP special is a very good one. Okay, do endeavor to join for a little very small token, and you can always have access to games that are posted there on a daily basis. All right, and all right, we head to the business of today, and we have our first game in the UEFA Champions League match. I will have Olympiacos will be facing PSV and Devon. All right, and we'll look at the stats for these two sides here. And Olympiacos in the last six have been able to achieve 4 victories and 2 losses. The last 6 games for Olympiacos, the grid side, and then we look at the way side, PSV rather, who have 5 victories and a draw out of the last 6 games that they had. This is a side that has been in very, very good form, in recent time. And we look at how the two sides are fared from home and away basis. You can see Olympiacos too have been doing very well from home as well. You could see 9 victories for them, and as well as 1 draw in the last 10 home matches that they had so far. And for the away side, PSV, they had also 9 wins and 1 draw out of the last 10 away matches. All right, this is a side that have not lost a single match in the last 10 away games. Just like the home side have not lost a single game in the last 10 home matches. All right. Also, when you look closely at the result, you see Olympiacos, the last 10 home matches that they had produced over 2.5 on 6 occasions out of 10, and PSV had over 2.5 9 times out of 10, and it's the reason that we're going to expect to see the goals flying in this very one. Okay, we saw how they fared against Napoli. PSV did so very well against Napoli, beating Napoli. So we expect a lot of goals here. It is a minimum of 3 goals. It is an over 2.5. That's so valid for that very encounter. To the next for today, it is also in the Champions League. We have Napoli who will be facing entrant Frankfurt, the German side. And we look at Napoli's recent games. You could see 3 victories and a draw, and also 2 losses. And Frankfurt, on the other hand, have just 1 win and 3 draws. They've lost 2 games in the last 6 matches. All right, looking at how these two sides performed from home and away perspective. All right, when you look at Napoli, the home side, the last 10 home games that they have seen them winning 8 and drawing 2. They've not lost a single match in the last 10 home appearances for Napoli. That's to say 80% of the matches they had from home there have always resulted to victory for Napoli. And for the away side, Frankfurt, it is 5 victories and 3 draws, and also 2 losses in the last 10 away matches that they had so far. 50% of the matches that they played from away have actually resulted to a favorable result for them. All right, and the last time both teams met, it was Napoli who actually won against this very Frankfurt side. We saw Napoli beating this very side by 3 goals to 0 on that very occasion. But prior to that, we saw Napoli once again from away defeating Frankfurt by 2 goals to 0. That's to say that the recent games have favored Napoli against this very side. So in this very encounter, we are going with the home side, Napoli, to pick up the points against Frankfurt in this very encounter. So we go with home side to win outrightly as of that's all valid for that very game. Okay. All right, now one of the biggest game of the night, I will have Paris Saint-Germain, French side, coming up against FC Bayern Munich, the German side. All right, and we'll start to look at as the recent results for as usual for both sides. You could say for Paris Saint-Germain, it is 3 victories and 3 draws out of the last 6 games. For Bayern Munich, it is a very perfect outing for them. We've seen 6 victories out of 6 for Bayern Munich, in recent games that they had so far. All right, when you look down at the performances from home and away perspective, we could see that for the home side, Paris Saint-Germain, the last 10 home matches have resulted to 8 wins and 2 draws. In the last 10 home matches, they have not really lost a single match out of the last 10 home games. For the away side, Bayern Munich, on the other hand, have been very, very perfect. They've actually won 10 games out of 10 in the last 10 away matches. And when you look at how they fared from home as well, they have actually won all the 10 games that they had from home. So that is to say, they have had 20 games winning streak. Bayern Munich, more than 20 games that they've won in recent time. So they've not really had a draw or either or a loss in the last 10 away and home games. All right, that's an incredible result for Bayern Munich. And also when we look at how these two sides fared on head-to-head basis, we could see that the last time they met, Bayern Munich actually won, and the last four meetings between the two sides have resulted to a win for Bayern Munich. Each time they met this Paris Saint-Germain. So in this very encounter, we are going with the away side to not lose. We are expecting away side to either win or draw, and we're going to see a minimum of 2 goals in this one. Away win or draw and over 1.5. That's our verdict for that very encounter. Lastly, we have a game in the Champions League once again. It is between Slavia Praha, all right, who'll be up against Arsenal FC. All right, and Slavia Praha have had 4 draws and 2 losses and 2 wins in the last 6 matches. They've been doing very fine too, in the league. But we know that Arsenal have been in very incredible form. We saw the last 6 games that they had, producing 6 wins out of 6 for Arsenal FC. And when you take a look at the performances from home and away perspective, you can say for the home side Slavia Praha, who have actually fared very well from home. They've actually won 7 games out of the last 10 home matches. They also had 3 draws, out of those 10 games. So that is to say 70% of the, the time they've actually won, in the last 10 home matches. So right, that's a, quite a decent record for the home side. And for the away side, Arsenal FC, the last 10 away games they had produced 7 victories from the last 10 away games, as well as 1 draw, and also 2 losses in the last 10 away matches that they had so far. Also a very, very decent record for Arsenal, judging by the teams that they played with, they played against the very, very top sides in the English Premier League, and they've actually won and also won from the Champions League. So that's a very good side. When you look at how these two sides fared, the last time both teams met, which was far back, we saw Arsenal beating this very Slavia Praha. On that very occasion, we saw Arsenal winning from away by 4-0 against Slavia Praha. That's to say, Arsenal actually does very well against this very side. So we are going to give it to the away side, Arsenal, who we have seen, in recent games doing so very well, winning games without conceding a goal. They've actually had over 8 games without conceding a goal. That's a very, very incredible side. That shows a side that is in good form. They defend well and as well as win games. So Arsenal to win out shortly. That's our verdict for that very encounter. All right, and that concludes it for us today on Betcraft. We know that other games that we have for you today will be on our VIP special. Don't forget to join. You can always find the link in the description of the video. And anyway, you see, join channel membership around this very video so that you have access to other games that we have for you today for a little token, and that will serve you for a month. All right. With that said, remember to play responsibly, as these are football matches. Sometimes may not always be what was expected. All right, tomorrow is another day. We're back with our predictions right on this very channel. Do not miss out for anything. But until then, keep winning.